thinking about.
Just pin it. Just pin it. Pin the tissues. Solo guest. Didn't even check anything. Well, welcome to the show.
How are you guys doing?
Well, I literally just started the show. We usually start at 9, but I coach girls softball. I coach several girls softball teams, and one of them that we had tonight, we were just going to go for an hour, but we did, but it went over, and now I got 3 daughters of my own, and it just took a long time to get home.
No, I feel that.
So, that's just the way the fucking cookie crumbles. Here, I'm putting you over. Oh, boy. First of all, thanks for giving us your time tonight. They're harassing me in the chat because I was late. These 2 people in the chat harassing us because we're late, and they're the ones who are never here. I just want to jump through and punch them right in the face. How's your day going?
It's been crazy. We had wrestling training and then work and kiddo and all that jazz.
Wrestling training still at Northern Wrestling Federation in Cincy?
Mm-hmm, at Bone Crushers, yep.
Spectacular. And then everyone's shoot job. Shoot job always ruins everything. It ruins all the fun.
It really does.
It really does. All we want to do is what we want to do. What did someone say to me yesterday? If you love what you do, it's not work. I was like, well, it's not really true.
It's still work. It's just a little more fun, I guess. Oh.
I was curious. I was prepping for the show. I think I broke my wrist today at practice. I was prepping for the show. So explain to me exactly how breaking your brother's arm leads you to the NWF Fantasy Camp in 06.
So, oh my gosh. So my very first job ever, I worked at a movie theater in Newport, Kentucky.
Oh, what a dream job. I would love that.
For those that are in the area, they know. And someone that I worked with there, one of my bosses actually, we became really good friends. And when I ended up going to college, he was like, hey, come check out this show when you're home on break. And so I went to an NWF show, and then I went to the next weekend, and the next weekend, and the next weekend. And because I had never been exposed to independent wrestling prior to this. And it was just such a different feel to, going to a WWE show and everything like that. And then I signed up for Fantasy Camp at the end of the summer, and I was like, all right, well, let's just crash course. Let's see how it is. And literally 10 minutes in, I'm like, no, this is freaking it. Like, this is awesome.
Now, are you like most of us? Were you backyard wrestling?
You know what? I can actually say that I have never, outside of shows that have happened in weird places. Right. I have never actually backyard wrestled. It has always been strictly through an established promotion. Nice. So.
Is it true that you press slammed your brother off the bed, off the top bunk?
Yeah, he doesn't like to talk about that.
Older, younger brother.
Older by 354 days. Oh, cool. Because I refuse to let him have those last 11 days.
Yeah, screw him. Right?
We are Irish twins.
Irish twins, that's true. Has he gotten his receipt yet?
Oh, yeah, multiple times. We actually, one of our bigger shows of the year, we have a dunk tank.
Okay.
And I'll be damned if I believe it was 5 balls in a row he dunked me.
No.
5 in a row.
Is he in the wrestling business or no?
He is not. He works at Procter and Gamble.
Nice.
And does all sorts of crazy experiments and has an awesome little kiddo that I love my nephew. It's great. They've come to a handful of shows, but they're not. It's kind of like, oh, it's my sister. She wrestles.
What did your family think or say when you go to all those independent shows? You fall in love with it. There's something about it that it's meant to be. Do you tell them right away you're training, or how's that work?
So that's the funny thing. I actually hid it from my mom that I was training. And I was showing up with like random bruises and marks and everything. And I just kept saying, "Oh yeah, they showed me a few things, but I'm not training today." And I actually at the time I was going to college 4 hours away from home, and I was driving back and forth without them knowing. Sorry, Mom, love you. It's her birthday today too. Happy birthday, Big Mama's mama.
Happy birthday, Big Mama's mama.
She when she finally found out that I'd been like in town and not seeing her and just going to shows.
All the time.
Yeah, it was. But the funny thing is, after I told her, like, the amount of support was phenomenal. Like, actually, the funny thing is, she was at every single show up until I started wrestling, and then she stopped coming.
Why? What was the trigger?
I think looking back at it now, seeing just my own toddler running around in a ring, it's terrifying.
I bet.
So, like, I think that has a key part, and like, just okay. Well, before I knew she wasn't gonna die, now she could die. So.
Yeah, right. You were trained by somebody who I think, couple guys I think are extremely underrated, but one definitely. Correct me if I'm wrong. You were trained by Abyss, Chris Harris, and Roger Ruffin.
And Roger Ruffin's been my main trainer, I will say that. We're extremely fortunate at the Northern Wrestling Federation that we have a really great history of alumni, including the Monster Abyss and Chris Harris.
Yeah.
The Monster Abyss is, true story, he is my son's godfather.
Spectacular. Little Monster Abyss.
It's great. I love it. He's Papa Monster. It's the best thing ever. Getting to learn from them, though, especially so early on, has just been, first of all, for the trainings that Abyss has done, if you don't puke, you're in trouble. Like, he's, all the stories I've heard, and then having been a part of that, like, he pushes you.
Pushes you to the limits, yeah.
And I will say, Roger Ruffin actually says this all the time, that he is the smartest man in wrestling, the Monster Abyss is, and I will 175% agree with that. He has the most incredible mind for wrestling that I could pick his brain for hours. Like, it's amazing. And it's been cool. On the other hand, especially Chris Harris has really been involved heavily now with the NWF coming back, and getting to agent and learn and produce everything under him with all of his experience. Like, it's just been, it's incredible.
Abyss, long time TNA/Impact talent with the Monster Abyss, spectacular. He also very character driven. Oh man, it's drawing a blank now. He played. Oh God, I'm drawing a blank at the lawyer.
Oh,
as soon as I think of it, I'm gonna go. That's it.
Yes. Chris Parks.
Chris Parks. Right? That's right. Yes.
Yes.
Chris Parks. Another phenomenal character, and then he was doing a little bit of stuff in WWE for a while alongside. Like, he went over there because he's got a great mind, and he was working in the backstage, and then you see him in the ring with AJ, and I was 100% convinced, oh great, we're going to get to see him do his thing now. Me being a longtime fan of Abyss, I thought we were going to get what I've always wanted, was to see him over there to shine, but Christopher Parks is what they're telling me. Christopher Parks.
Christopher Parks.
But yeah, he is a great. Well, everything I've heard, I don't know him. I've heard he's a phenomenal mind.
It's incredible. Like, just some of the stuff he comes up with, it would blow your mind. It's absolutely, because it's like, wow, are you sure? Because they have the saying of it's just wrestling. You're not reinventing the wheel. You're
right.
You are sucking people in, and he just has this uncanny ability to just. Man, the stories he can tell, it's astounding.
You get into training, you love this stuff, but you don't get your first match until 2 years into training. We've talked to a ton of independent talent, some quicker than others, Do you feel you could have had your match earlier, or do you feel 2 years is what you needed to have under your belt before jumping in the ring?
I definitely think I could have gotten in sooner. I will say that, I mean, you're always going to be nervous your first match. Like, I still get butterflies every single time I go out the curtain. But I would say I probably felt far more comfortable than most people going out for their first match. Just because I had so much training. A lot of the reason it had taken so long, we had one other woman. That was literally it. And she was off doing her own thing, traveling and bookings and things like that. So it was just one of those things. We literally had maybe one women's match every 2, 3, 4 months. So the opportunity at the time was not like now. I mean, we have a women's match or 2 women's matches every single show.
Right.
So it's just a totally different ball game. I was far more comfortable than I probably deserved, is what I'm going to say, for my first match.
Who was your first match with?
My first match, I tag teamed with Cindy against Amanda Ruffin and Helena Heavenly, and that was in Fort Wayne, Indiana, for Dick the Bruiser Jr.
Spectacular. A lot of
and I got to get dressed by the Batmobile. It was awesome.
You got to wait.
So it was at the Car Museum in Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
And yeah, I literally have a picture for my first match. Where just all of us together, and Batmobile's behind us. It's cool, no big deal.
No big deal. Which Batmobile? From which Batman movie?
Oh, so that one I don't know. Okay. I need to look it up.
Okay. Are you into Batman? Because we have a running question here on the show about Batman.
So I like the movies.
Okay.
But perfect. I'm not hyper into it.
Okay.
I'm a fan, but it's kind of like that's cool. I enjoyed this movie.
Okay, so you know the movies, all the Batman movies.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What's her question? Okay, who's the best Batman? What actor makes the best Batman, and what actor makes the best Bruce Wayne?
Okay, so I'm terrible with names.
Okay, we'll help you.
Whoever was in the one with the Joe or with the Riddler.
The one with the Riddler.
George Clooney?
Was right, or was it 2? Was one George Clooney and one Val Kilmer? No, George Clooney. It was George Clooney. It was George Clooney.
I think it was Clooney. It was Clooney.
So Clooney. So
that's my favorite. Because for me, that's where it was like a core memory. Like I remember my dad taking me to see that movie, and the whole entrance. Like I can literally see the entrance in my mind. Like that's how much I was like, "Oh, dude, this is good shit." Kind of thing. I was like, "This is a good movie." So that's the winner for me.
Spectacular. I'll be honest with you. I don't think anyone's picked George Clooney yet. I think you're our first.
No, we've said George Clooney was a good Batman.
We did say that. Are you sure?
Not Batman. Bruce Wayne.
Did I say that?
No, but we have stated that. He made a good Bruce Wayne.
He's a handsome guy. Let's be real.
He is, and he's a Kentucky boy, so that helps.
There you go. He's a little biased, I think. A little biased.
A little biased.
We'll still take your answer. It's okay. I watched a few of your matches before I had to go to practice. I can tell you draw inspiration from the likes of John Tenta, Mr. Earthquake himself, Andre the Giant. Just the way you psychologically set up a match is how I would put it in the ring. Are those heavy inspirations on you? Who else? What do we got going on?
So those are very heavy inspirations. I definitely always try to mix it up with like trying to watch some more current day stuff. I'm a huge, giant fan of Rhea Ripley. I'm not even gonna deny it. She's amazing in the ring.
She's doing good shit right now too.
Both in personality and also just her in-ring work is phenomenal. Chyna. Yep. Just because, you want to smash all the glass ceilings and
break it down.
For women's wrestling, she absolutely did that. I will probably never be able to emulate a lot of her moves, but I do love Lita.
Okay, gotcha.
me doing the flying senton. Yeah. Maybe one of these days I'll bust out some crazy one-time move. But definitely the powerhouses. And I will say I found a match recently that I want to steal everything from. I'm not even gonna lie.
What is it?
It was from I think it was '94 4.
Okay.
It was Manami Toyota, and I am struggling for who it was with. Over in Japan, and it was, I was watching this at work, so that was problem number 1. But I'm literally at my desk, and I zoned out.
Yeah.
So into this match, and I was cheering for them in the middle of work because I was so sucked in. Like, they were so beyond ahead of their time in Japanese women's wrestling. Yeah. Far before the women's revolution and the 4 horsewomen and all that ever came about. Like, amazing stuff.
Our new Japan / Japan aficionado doesn't seem to be in the chat tonight. She usually chimes in. She probably would have known exactly what match you were talking of.
Right?
For sure. I keep looking over, but she's not there. I saw when I searched your name, I saw a couple things. You got in the ring with Freya the Slayer, who we had on the show. I watched that, and that was 2 massive, powerful, just gonna fucking kick your ass women in a match. That was one hell of a match, that's for sure. I don't really have a question based around that, but hell of a job out of you.
It was definitely one of my favorite matches, for sure.
So then I kept looking more because I'll be honest, I didn't know anything about you, and that's one of the things I love about this show, and I love when Vanessa just books people I've never even heard of for one reason or another. I think we loved your name, Big Mama, and it was like Mother's Day when we booked you. So I think that was the hook, line, and sinker. But man, you recently at OVW, you were in the Rumble. What's the name of the Rumble? The Nightmare Rumble.
Nightmare Rumble, yes.
Yeah. You work in OVW a lot with them?
So that was actually my debut.
Oh, nice.
I'm definitely hopeful for some more. I definitely a good debut. I mean, obviously I didn't win, but I think it was a very good, strong debut. We really made a statement. I had a really cool moment with Freya in that match, actually.
Yeah.
Where we just wanted to kick each other's butt. So
maybe more.
I would, hands down, bring me back. Let's do it.
Maybe more to come. That Slimy Haley J one I saw won that Rumble. She probably cheated.
You know what? God bless her. She straight from the beginning of that match all the way to the end. Shoo. That's not for the faint of heart, though.
Speaking of mamas and Mother's Day, we both were talking about kids. You got a kid of your own. Did you find it challenging? I'll see the best way I can word this. Did you find it challenging to get back to the routine and the grind, or even to get motivated to jump back into independent wrestling once you became a big mama?
Big mama, yeah, like it. So
did it change your perspective?
Kind of a mixed bag. It 100%. Your perspective completely changes. I would say for me, I felt it was in a good way.
Okay.
It actually, I think, really motivated me. So he wasn't a COVID baby, but okay. He prior to COVID, I got pregnant, and like literally, he was born 4 weeks after everything locked down.
Oh, interesting.
So like we're literally, I remember so clearly, so vividly, like we had one of my last doctor's appointments, and they were like, yeah, so you may not even be able to have your partner in here. And I'm like, huh? What?
Excuse me?
And then it was like, okay, well, no, he can be here, but if he leaves for any reason, even to go get like food from outside, he's not allowed back in. And it's just like, what is going on in this world? Like, it was insane. But so it worked out in somewhat, because I do remember prior, I was like, man, I'm going to miss so much wrestling, because at NWF, we have weekly events.
Right.
And I'm like, how am I going to be away for a month? Like, I don't even know how this is going to go. I didn't have a choice.
You didn't
Everything
have a choice.
was shut down anyway.
That is interesting, yeah. Like, a lot of yeah, go ahead.
I think in a lot of ways it actually was great, because where my husband would normally, we're going every single week. we did get that opportunity. I mean, work home because that's all you could do.
Yeah.
So we were home a lot more. We got to really enjoy that period of time that I think would have been drastically different had COVID not happened and all the craziness. So it was a blessing, I do think. But I do remember I was ready to get back. Like, it was one of those, like, come on, let's go. Like, I do have to say, the first bump back, I actually have a video of my first bump after having him. My body, I don't think, appreciated that I was willing to go back.
You were ready, but your body wasn't quite ready.
It was literally just like, oh, yeah. I remember now. I remember why we don't do this. But it was, for me, one of the coolest things that I love now is some of his favorite people in the world are some of our wrestlers.
Right, yeah.
And on top of that, seeing his face light up when I'm going out there, like, dude, it's the best freaking feeling in the world.
That's
and
awesome.
It's like, hey, I'm gonna show him that no matter what, I'm gonna be that badass mom that's showing my kid that you still follow your dreams no matter what happens. So
spectacular, badass mom. One of my children is here right now. You going to bed? Right. You can say hi. She can hear you.
Hi.
Her name is Big Mama.
Yeah.
Right? All right, give me a hug.
Big Mama Pump.
No, it's not Big Mama Pump. That's a no.
Wait,
buttons,
what?
Please go to bed. All right, and there's another one. Here, you might as well.
Hello.
Daddy.
Say good night.
Good night.
Yeah, you can have the sticker. Go.
I have a sticker.
Yep. You can have a sticker too.
Love you.
Love you. Good night.
I got two of the same one.
Yay.
See you later, bro. Shaka.
Later. Go to bed. Good night. Shut the door. That's their thing. That's what they like to do. I think that's 2 shows in a row now. I forgot. She's like, "Oh, is that Big Mama Pump?" I was like, "No, it's
a totally different one.
It's a different person." So that's really, it's an awesome experience and how it changes your perspective. And it is cool because a lot of the times we have the independent wrestlers on, and one of the questions I sometimes go to is, I'm like, what did you do during COVID? How did you handle it? Did it affect you mentally? But to you, like, you had the kid, you were gonna be home anyways. So
it was a really good reset, I think, because I had been COVID, so that would have been 14 years in at that point,
right,
of just grinding every single weekend and multiple nights of the week for training and everything else. So like it was a very good reset. So outside of just not being able to go anywhere, it was a very positive experience overall in our house.
It's a silver lining.
We got a lot done at the house that we're not normally able to do.
Oh man, I wish I did that. I don't even remember what I did.
We have a golf green now in our backyard.
Oh, that's interesting.
That was our COVID project.
So you got a whole putting green?
It's just one little, like, the main green with a couple holes.
Oh, wow.
We call our running joke. It's called the Bachman Hillbilly Village is our backyard, and we play 9 holes of golf now. We just pick different spots in the yard to tee off from.
So soothing.
It's a good weekend experience.
So relaxing. Oh man, so that's cool. That's awesome. And then someday your kid's gonna want to jump in the ring, right?
It's coming already sooner than I'd like to admit. I already got the phone call from daycare.
Right. Yeah.
That he was dragging a kid down by his neck,
dropping elbows.
Sorry. And he does a little baby earthquake. It's adorable.
Oh
it's
my god!
Ever
with the 2.
Oh, it's the whole 9 yards. Like it's freaking great. And it's just so funny because he is so excited to ride in a big wrestling truck. Daddy's truck, wrestle truck, and he loves the ring. Like he may end up growing to hate it because it's every weekend.
Right.
But like he is obsessed, and it's hilarious, and I love it.
I want to scroll back quick. Because it just popped in my head. When you initially went to that first training, Did you pick it up easy? Did you find it challenging?
So I did a lot of sports in high school and some college sports actually.
Nice.
But I've never been a gymnastic athletic person. Clearly why I like John Tenta.
Right. Hey, he was an athletic guy though.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like and it's just a different form of athletics.
Right. Yep.
And I feel like I caught on to a lot more of like the nuanced stuff as far as like chain and like mat wrestling and things of that sort.
Right.
The flippy and the flippy dippy stuff.
Right.
That took a little while longer to develop. I can actually do flippy dippy stuff, but I don't have to.
Right.
So it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
It is. I feel like it was a stronger curve of like the physicality of it. I could knock out. That wasn't an issue at all.
Right.
But I definitely needed. I think for me, honestly, it was the confidence of I can flip over and I'm going to be safe. It was more like the mind game for me.
Psychological. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that for sure. One of your wrestling goals I had learned and heard was to wrestle in every state in the U.S. What number are we on now?
24.
24. All right.
24. We're getting there. Slowly but surely.
Should just make a documentary and just start recording everything.
That's not a terrible idea.
Right? And just go from
like
all those states and like the whole reality, the live, like this, a day in the life, like you're searching out a promotion, trying to get it on in that state. Boom, you got it. The number changes in the bottom right. I'm sure someone out there can do that.
So that's great. Heck yeah.
Vanessa,
are you going to trademark that or can I jump on that?
You can have it. It's all yours.
Okay.
Vanessa, what was that director we had on? He should do it. Remember Ryan Johnson?
Kenny Johnson?
Kenny Johnson, was it?
Yeah, Johnston?
Johnston? We'll get it. Someone can do that. That'd be fun. IWTV should do that.
That's a great idea. I love that.
I'm into it.
People book me. Give me some.
Yeah, right.
Give me some different states.
I'll come up with a creative name for it. That's what I'm good at. You also love to in your shoot life, I guess. I guess is what we'll call it. And I found this very interesting because I just heard today that my high school where my daughter goes, my oldest daughter, I have 3, but the older, 13, 10, and 6, 5, 13, 10, and 5. I don't know. Well, they can go. The oldest one can go to Europe in 2 years for their high school. Go to Europe. Okay. Now I know that when you were in high school, you went to Europe. You went to Italy, France, and Germany, and you loved it. Italy, France, Germany, England, something like that. You loved it. You did biking across Germany. I'm like, oh, wow, this is great. My daughter's going to love it. She can go. This is going to be awesome. But then you told me that, I think maybe you were drinking over there as well. Should I be concerned?
Well, okay, so I will say I never drank illegally because it was legal over there.
Right. Oh, that's true. It's a good point.
But I do feel like I'm actually was far more responsible when I did it legally in the United States because I had that experience.
Oh, I like that.
There was
a little test in the waters,
some over-enjoyment over there, but like nothing that got too out of hand. My mother never told me I needed to leave immediately during the middle of the trip. So
that is funny. So your mom went too?
She did not.
Okay.
Actually, the funny thing is, I crashed on my bike one of the days, and I ended up having to ride around in one of the teachers' vans for like 2 days after that, till they got my bike fixed.
Okay. Oh man.
And I just remember I didn't call my mom because my calling card had run out or whatever. But she had heard through the grapevine of all the other kids that Tasha had fallen off a bike and died. And then I didn't talk to her for 2 days. When I finally got back on the phone with her, I thought she was going to murder me.
Oh my God. I would have lost it. I don't know how I could.
It was one of those things like, Mom, I'm sorry, I love you. I really am okay. My knee's just all banged up. It's cool though.
I can't forget. I got it written down in big letters here on my computer because that worked when I was at work today. Instead of working, I work in the school system. Instead of doing anything because the kids were a little crazy, I had a little bit of time. I prepped for the show on my work computer. Don't tell anyone. So that's what I do. I will also watch wrestling at work. But so I can't forget to talk about Queens of the Midwest, which is coming up here, not this weekend, next weekend, I think.
Yep, Memorial Day weekend, 5/27.
Okay.
This is Revolution Rising 2. So this is my second go around. It's definitely a labor of love. This is so my second time round of me looking at piecing that show together, promoting it, and just everything's kind of my brainchild of what I've put together. Someone said it the other day. It's kind of like NWF versus the Midwest.
Right.
Because we are very, very, very fortunate in that we have a very diverse and big roster for women, which you don't get a whole lot of places. So it is very much our talent versus the Midwest talent. But I think it's going to be really great. Nikki Victory is taking on Allison Kay.
Okay.
That was a match change-up. She, Nikki Victory. Talk about someone who showed up right when the timing was great. I don't tell a whole lot of people this. I had gotten to the point where I was getting frustrated with not as many opportunities, and It was one of those things we still didn't have a whole lot of women. And it was like, you know what? Do I just ride it out and stick it out, or go find the next thing? And Nikki Victory came into Bone Crushers, and lightning struck. Like, she is such a phenomenal talent that literally bad guy, good guy, you name it, she can do it. Her ability in the ring is phenomenal. Her and Allison Kay. I mean, Allison Kay is former NWA Women's Champion, former Tag Team NWA Champion, titles all over the world. I mean, those women are going to kill each other probably. But I want to see it. So here we are. So I think that's going to be an amazing, amazing match. And then we have Marty Bell and Riley Matthews. And Riley Matthews definitely has been one of our up-and-comers over the last couple of years, or the last year or so. And she has just, her passion and her swagger and her confidence has just, it's exploded, and to get to see that transformation in her. And then she so rarely is in the ring with someone similar size with her.
Yeah.
Because she's a little one.
Yeah.
So it's exciting to think of her and Marty Bell in a ring together and just going and going and going. So I think that's definitely going to be that fast-paced, hard-hitting action that you want out of that kind of a wrestler. Trying to think some of our other stuff. I will be taking on the Amazon, actually. So I don't often get to throw down with someone my size.
Right.
So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm going to bring it. I always do, but I always like the extra little challenge of having to actually force myself to move someone versus it being a little bit easier.
Too easy. Yeah, I get it. Well, I don't get it.
It's nice.
I understand.
I think some of our other... We do have Jack Stinger, who is actually... she is active military.
Okay.
And just an awesome human being. And yeah, she puts everything into what she's got. So she's going up against the big Flexa, Alexis Littlefoot, who's been making waves all over Kentucky. Yeah. And well, she's got a mouth of the South, that's for sure. I can connect with her on that. But yeah, she's got a good little mouth on her. They can go at it.
Mouth of the South. Is that I can't help but the artwork behind you, that's you?
That is. So Alan's Art Images.
Okay.
Did this piece. I am actually the reigning and defending Oh my gosh, it's a really long name. World Classic Big Time Professional Wrestling.
That is a long name.
Queen of the Ring Champion. Yeah, I can barely remember it. But the last time I was up in Chillicothe defending that title, they made this and they brought it to me. And yeah, it's a really cool piece.
It's
I have to say so myself.
Looks great. Is that a title belt behind it?
This is one of the versions of the Northern Wrestling Federation heavyweight
Holy
championship.
Crap.
Yeah, it's a heavy dude.
Look at that thing. It's like the big gold belt.
That's cracked a few skulls in the day.
Yeah.
It's not one to mess with. It's just a big old boy.
I could hear its weight when you picked it up. I was like, that thing is solid gold.
Yeah, it is. Whew, it's a heavy one.
Oh man. Wow, spectacular. I mean, I burned through all my notes. I promoted the show on the 27th. Is there anything else you want show-wise you want to promote?
Please get your tickets for Revolution Rising 2, Queens of the Midwest, if you're in the area. It's www.nwfwrestling.com/events. Definitely please always follow me on socials, Big Bad Mama 06 on all of them. Made it nice and easy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm excited this year has definitely been extremely busy, which is a great thing. And new promotions, new towns, new stuff. I am now the #1 contender for the Uncanny Attractions Championship.
Huh.
So some definitely new stuff branching into Texas some more.
Nice.
So it's some good things on the horizon. I'm excited.
Spectacular. Well, at the end of first of all, you've been a pleasure to have on. You've been easy to talk to, and you can come back anytime. But before I let you go, you kind of plugged everything you want, so it's going to seem redundant. But I'm going to give you the mic. You can put over anything you want. You can say anything you want. You can bury anyone you want. I just won't interrupt, and I don't really care what you say. The floor is yours.
I was going to say, check out all of my socials. I have a breaking announcement. I will be launching my own website next month. So you will be able to match downloads, photos, merchandise, you name it, it'll be on there. The domain is Big Bad Mama's House.
Big Bad Mama Town?
Big Bad Mama's House.
Oh, so Big Bad Mama's House.
So that will be launching around the beginning of June. And we're hard at work getting the content together for that, so definitely check that out.
Awesome. Spectacular. Yeah. You're welcome back anytime, for sure. We can
Thank
talk
you
about
so
anything.
much.
We'll talk to you soon. Have yourself a glorious night.
You too.
Peace. Oh, great stuff. Spectacular. Breaking news. Big Bad Mama's House.